Sometimes the tortilla gets a little bit of competition from regions. So somebody from the Saguenay region where that pie it was invented will sometimes get a little bit...
They're possessive about their
they're
recipes.
really possessive, yes.
Which region do you think makes the best tourtière?
Well, everybody will say Lac Saint-Jean is the best one,
Okay.
but at the end is the one you like better too. But sometimes it's a memory that's attached to it, to the smell of it, than everything you're eating. You take some onions, and then you are just going to dice them, roughly.
What kind of meat do we use?
The traditional one is usually made with game meat, so it'll be moose, moose pheasant, some pork in there, and some deer venison. So you cut in pretty nice cubes. You can go a little bit bigger or smaller.
And how much meat would you need?
You would need about 3 kilos of meat because usually it's baked in a big cast iron pot that your grandmother has, like the Le Creuset one.
Right, because she's cooking for a big family.
The whole family.
Yeah, the whole family.
What makes these traditional meals, these Quebecois traditional meals so special?
I think it's because they're made with everything you have on hand. There's just a way to make it. You can make it whatever you want, and there's no precise way. And it was just a meal made that it will last long. You can cook all the odd bits and everything that was left over.
Do you like to stick to the traditional recipe, or do you like to experiment?
Usually you stick really with the recipe because it already has enough stuff in it. It just takes a long time to cook. You let it cook low and slow, and it's tasty. We are going to salt and pepper it. You can be pretty generous with the salt. Usually per each kilo of meat, you want to go with about a big tablespoon of salt. Then pepper, it's about a teaspoon. You're gonna cover it with some Saran wrap and then just leave it in the fridge for at least 12 hours to marinate. Then you can grab your dough. Now we grab our meat mixture over here that's been sitting overnight with our onions, our dice of potatoes. I like doing a big dice. It adds a lot to the braised meat texture. Just before putting the top, you need to put some liquid in there because it braises inside the dough. It can be a vegetable broth, a chicken broth. Today we're using a bit of water. So now that we have our pie like this, you want to cook it at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for an hour. What this will do, it will cook the dough on the outside so it stays nice and rigid. After that, you lower it to 225, 250, and you cook it 6 to 10 hours. And all there's left to do is to cut it up and serve it and eat it.